Hello, hello, hello. My name is Alton Henry. Welcome to Underrated Movies. Shabam. And today I would like to talk to you about a movie that's been out, since December. You already know where I'm going with this. That's created a lot of controversy, and we're still talking about it, just how Star Wars fans really hated this movie. Well, I didn't. I think the movie is great. I think it's better than The Force Awakens, if you already know what I'm talking about. Of course, because this is Star Wars The Last Jedi. Woo! Got that out the way. Now, it seems to me that this film has caused a lot of backlash. Expectations were for the Star Wars film. And honestly, I don't know what was going to happen in The Last Jedi before I saw it. There are a lot of fan theories going around, and people got their expectations high on those fan theories, and it pretty much blew in their faces. Well, thanks to Rian Johnson, but I'm not here to blame Rian Johnson because I think this sequel is better than The Force Awakens. And the reason why, to me, because the movie, and I think a lot of sequels should do this. I'm not really gonna even, really say what I will, but I think this video is going to be more why sequels should make more bold choices or something like that, because I feel like when sequels come about from the original film, there has to be a same vibe, the same vibe that has to connect it exactly from the last movie, where it's supposed to make it more cohesive, which I think it doesn't really deliver I don't think it delivers the next film anything new, except, just maybe the story, but tone wise, nothing's really changed. It's the same vibe that you get from the last one. And I really have to give credit to Rian Johnson for what he thought was best for the film, the continuation of Star Wars, and I thought he did a very bold and creative approach with this film, compared, with The Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams, where I thought he played it a little bit too safe, for my opinion. I wish they kind of and I guess if he wants sequels to be recycled from from a previous source, and I guess that's okay. There's tons of movie story plot elements that's been recycled over and over and over again, and where can you go with that? There's only so much you can do with the same plot element, that there's really nowhere else you can really take it, except maybe a cliche route. Now, if you try to do something original and it might come out stupid, well, at least you made the bold choice to try to do something different. But with with The Last Jedi, I'm glad that, what people expected out of that film, I really appreciated that it shot all of those theories down and try to give you something that you didn't expect. And I didn't expect a lot of it, like the last battle with Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren, which they didn't really fight, but it was an intense battle. His death, of course. The direction where Rey, Finn, and Poe Dameron, whatever, where they went with the story, I didn't expect any of it, and I don't really get the backlash of having the male characters weak. For decades, we had female characters weak, but I mean, I could see where I could see the flip around it, and it didn't bother me. I thought they had strong female characters, and if strong female characters shouldn't even be criticized for even being there. Times are changing. Times are changing. Things need to change to. I think when a franchise does a sequel, you kind of want it to change. You want to take chances. You want to take risk with the story. So maybe you want to take chances. You want to take risks with sequels, because if you recycle the same thing, what's unique about the other ones? I mean, with the Halloween franchise, same thing, nothing unique, except with episode or number 6, they try to do something different with the curse thing. May not be great, but at least they tried something bold, and I give them credit. With Alien franchise, I mean, when Ridley Scott decided to return to do the Alien franchise with Prometheus 6 years ago, he thought, it needed to be, he kind of needed a redo by telling the story of how the aliens were created in a, I guess, unconventional way. And he thought it was best to try to maybe deviate from the Alien franchise, because as of now, the aliens aren't too scary, since they've been parodied over for the past, since, I don't know, 40 years or so. And even with what's another one? What's another one? Well, I guess with The Mummy, horror action adventure to like a family adventure, the horror element kind of faded out. And with The Mummy 3 with Jet Li, that one was terrible. But I mean, you want to do something different. You want to do something bold with the sequels. Otherwise, there's nothing unique about them. And if a sequel does come about, and if or let's say this, even with Star Wars here, example, with the original trilogy, 30 years later or 2 decades or whatever later, with the prequel trilogy, and then you have the sequel trilogy trying to recapture that vibe of the original. You can't. You can never recapture what was once captured before, because it's going to be an exact imitation from it, of it, and then there's nothing going to be unique about it. So Rian Johnson and David Lynch did this with his revival show of Twin Peaks. You could capture or try to grab elements of that previous nostalgia, but you got to do something much more mature and, I guess, relatable to current times. Because if you try to recapture the same vibe, there's nothing that's going to be interesting about it. There's nothing that's going to be bold about it. It's not going to be that interesting, except recapturing your nostalgia that you grew up with. And I really like the fact that you can capture a little bit of it, but you want to do something different with it. Same thing with Hideki Anno with his Evangelion franchise, with his movies now. He's trying to do something more bold and different, and that might uproar fans, but it's something that I think it's necessary to try to deliver something new to the franchise, that people who aren't into Star Wars, or who didn't grow up with it back then, or who didn't know about it as much back then, or same thing with any franchises that tries to do something a little bit different from the original. Trying to do something different that hasn't been, I guess, done before, or testing out new ideas with it. Because again, what's unique about capturing that same nostalgia from that time, knowing that this time it might be kind of laughable. Match up the idea with the current issue that we're in now. Otherwise, it's just going to be pure nostalgia. Nothing else unique about it. But I do like this film a lot better than Force Awakens. It was a lot bolder, a lot riskier, and I do like the fight scenes a lot more compared to Force Awakens. I thought the visuals in this were a lot better than the Force Awakens, and it didn't feel like it was some of it felt like it was recycled a bit. With Empire Strikes Back with the Return of the Jedi at certain points of the film, which it kind of just hit to me. It just hit me. But grabbing the ideas from those and trying to twist it around and trying to come up with something a little bit original, I favor for. I feel like this movie might be, maybe give it 10, 15 years. People are going to look down on this like, no, this is probably one of the most boldest Star Wars films since Empire Strikes Back, which I think it's probably going to hit there. We'll see. I mean, right now you're not hearing about the George Lucas's prequel trilogy, and you're not really hearing everybody like talking about that. They're talking more so still with the original and a lot of surprises. So I do like this a lot better than The Force Awakens. All right, so we'll give this 5 out of 5 stars. If you like this,
man, get your ass off that goddamn couch, boy. I'm gonna slap your head. You ain't a motherfucker.